Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is October 2nd. Coach Melissa here in the gym for another edition of Nutrition News. And today we're going to talk all about cravings. Cravings are a pretty common concern that a lot of people deal with on a regular basis, and so let's dive into discussing that. Before we do though, I have actually something to do for our members here at Goddard's Fit Body Bootcamp, and that is our accountability, our attendance draw. So I have this whole big box here of all these different names of our members who have been to at least 3 sessions a week, at least 1 week, throughout the month of September. So for our members, if you've been here at least 3 times in 1 week throughout the month of September, that earns you 1 ballot. If you've been here 3 times for every week, however many weeks there were in September, let's say there was 4, then you get 4 ballots. And what I'm about to do is pick one name from here, and that person is going to win a gift card for 25 FBBC dollars. So that person then can choose something, could be a water bottle, could be put towards protein, could be put towards some like a shirt or a sweater that we have here, could be a cookbook, a foam roller, anything that we sell, FBBC bucks. So without further ado, I've got all these names in here and I'm going to choose one, and in front of everybody I will tell you that the winner is Sharon Glauscher. So Sharon Glauscher, she loves our 410 sessions on Mondays. She is the winner of September's attendance draw. So Sharon, you have now won 25 FBBC bucks, and hopefully we will see you today at 4:10, and I will give this to you then. Congratulations. Okay, let's talk about cravings. So we're getting into fall, and when we get into fall, we talk a lot about comfort foods, putting on sweaters and just getting cozy and fireplaces and all these different comfort things. So let's talk about cravings. Maybe you crave comfort foods around this time of the year. So to understand where cravings come from, first we have to understand what they are. So let's talk about a definition of cravings. So a food craving is a state of heightened eating motivation that is directed at a specific food. So you are highly motivated to have a very specific food. Now this is not the same as hunger. Hunger is different. Hunger is a non-specific motivation for food in general. So you just want to eat. You don't really care what you eat when you're hungry. You are just hungry and you need to eat. Cravings and hunger are different. They're both motivations, but they come from different parts of the brain in response to different cues that your brain is getting. So when we're trying to distinguish between a craving and hunger, a craving is an increased desire for a very specific food, even if you're not necessarily hungry, and that's a big one. You may not even be hungry physically, but you are craving something. While hunger is an increased desire to eat in general, not necessarily a specific food. You just want and need to eat. Cravings are pretty fascinating, really, and they're linked to instincts to seek out specific foods rich in usually calories, fat, starches, sugars, sometimes proteins, and salt. So beyond like the physical properties of food, cravings can often, maybe you're not just craving something salty, or maybe you're not just, it's not just about craving something sweet. They can also and are often driven by emotions. Okay, so things like stress, shame, guilt, fear, boredom, anger, a lot of these different things can have you craving certain foods, and that can come from as far back as your childhood. And I'm a mom too, and if you think about when a child is upset, or when a baby is upset for whatever reason, and what is the first thing most moms or grandparents do? They try to feed them, right? And they try to make it better with a treat often. And often it could be cookies, or it could be juice, or it could be pretty much any food that is going to make them feel better. And you think is going to make them feel better, but they're not even really hungry. So from a very young age, we learn to associate pain or stress or upset or whatever and food. The only way to feel better is food, because that's what we've been doing since we were little, or that's what someone else was doing for us since we were little. So that's how emotions and cravings can be tied together. And another thing is like situational, right? Like a lot of people, they sit down to watch Big Brother, or they sit down to watch, I remember years ago for me, it was Grey's Anatomy. Every time you sit down to watch a specific show, it's a routine to have a specific snack with it. It's like Pavlov's dog kind of thing. It's not even necessarily that you're hungry, it's that you crave it because that's part of the routine and you associate the two together. So distinguishing the difference between hunger and is there some other reason that you want that food as the first step to dealing with cravings. Because really, cravings can do quite a number on the success that you're trying to achieve when it comes to fitness and fat loss goals. The reasons that we get cravings, as I've already talked about, are all different and various depending on the person. And maybe you've heard that you are craving something because your body needs it. Well, your body, I'm sorry to tell you, but your body never really needs chocolate, okay? It's not that your body is not going to survive if it doesn't get chocolate. And I use chocolate because this is actually the number one craving for women, and it's the number one craving that we usually hear about is craving chocolate. So it's not that your body needs chocolate in order to survive and thrive. Cravings are triggered by hormonal fluctuations in the body, certainly, and for women, certainly around specific times of the month. But they're also brought upon to your body by emotions and avoidance. So your body trying to avoid dealing with certain things, either your mind or your body. If you regularly consume foods with high amounts of salt or sugar or fat or other addictive properties like that, refined sugar, refined wheat, salt, things like that, and then you go without them for a while because you're trying to do better, then yeah, your body is going to crave that. It's not because your body needs it, it's just because your body's went without it for a while and it's not used to that. So that's not a reason to give in to the craving. Your body doesn't need it. It's just going through somewhat of a withdrawal. It's like when you're trying to quit smoking or you're trying to quit drinking, there's a withdrawal period there when you don't have it as often as you're used to. And it's the very same thing for foods that are rich in processed sugar, refined wheats, salt, fat, that kind of thing. It's the same thing. Once you've kind of cleaned up your nutrition for a while, and you are eating more foods that come from the earth instead of from the factory, those cravings, they lessen, they dissipate most of the time. You're not going to want these items as often. And even when you do have them, you may find, and we have found this time and time again with different members, when you do have them again, they might actually make you feel sick. So it's not that your body needs them, it's that your body's used to it and your brain is used to it and your brain is used to that response to whatever the trigger is. And then when you stop giving it that, then it goes through a little bit of withdrawal. That's what it is. If you do find yourself craving in like a craving situation, there are some different things you can try to get you through without dismantling all of your hard work, without undoing everything that you've been working so hard towards. So let's say you're craving chocolate, because that's pretty popular. If you are craving chocolate, there are some legitimate benefits to having dark chocolate, but not a lot of dark chocolate. Like there's a limit there. So we're talking like maybe the size of a quarter, okay? And it's like 70 to 80% dark chocolate. Eat it slowly. Let it melt on your tongue, that kind of thing. And the richness from that chocolate and that amount of chocolate should be all that you need to keep going. If you're craving sweet, there's a few different things that might work for you, such as dates. Okay, so dates are loaded with iron and natural sugars that can satisfy sweet cravings. It's different for sure than what you're used to, but they have been shown to satisfy sweet cravings. Maybe a half a teaspoon of honey. Raw honey is best. The enzymes in that have some nutritional benefit. In tea, chamomile or peppermint tea, maybe some grapes, right, or some fruit that's a little bit higher in sugar can help with your sweet cravings. If you're craving salty, you can make air popped popcorn, and then you could put nutritional yeast on it. So I don't know if you've ever tried that before. It does have a very salty, cheesy taste to it, and so that might take care of that salty craving for the time being. If you're craving chips, like salty chips, there's a lot of different ways that you can slice up a variety of different vegetables. You can do kale chips, you can do sweet potatoes, you can do like all these different root vegetables. Sprinkle them with a little bit of sea salt and a little touch of apple cider vinegar. Bake them in the oven. You can do that with parsnips, you can do that with plantains, you can do it with lots of different vegetables. So you can just kind of play around with it. No, it's not going to be the same, but it's not going to do the damage to your body either. So take that as you will. Usually, if you wait it out, if you distract yourself, if you find something else to do, and or if you do some real work as to emotionally what's going on that you feel like you need this craving, you should be able to get through it and you should be able to make it pass. The problem is a lot of people don't want to do that work, right? They don't want to do that emotional, why am I feeling this way? Why do I think I need this food? What's really going on here? The cravings of the food and then giving into those cravings just makes it quick and easy and go away. And then the guilt sets in and then it just all kind of spirals again, right? The other thing is, as much as you can, avoid exposing yourself to these kind of cues, these situations that put you craving all these foods. If tempting and unhealthy foods are not, available to you or not right in your personal surroundings all the time, then you're probably going to be less likely to crave them, because if it's in your house, it's only a matter of time. And if you can't eat it responsibly, it probably shouldn't be in your house. If it's in your house, it's going to be calling you and calling you and calling you and calling you until finally you answer. So having it out of your house is definitely the first step, okay? Trying not to put yourself into these situations as much as possible that are going to trigger the cravings. So don't order it when you go out. Have a different plan in mind for when you do go out. Maybe you avoid certain restaurants that serve those foods that you cannot have responsibly, or you certainly restrict the amount of time you spend at those restaurants. Even like the media, so paying attention to your media consumption, whether it's TV or online, and all of the commercials and the ads about all of these foods, is that when you start craving it, when you see it on media. Going to the grocery store when you're hungry is another definite way to be craving and then getting sucked into all kinds of different foods that you don't even really need to eat. Paying attention to what's motivating you, where those cravings are coming from and why, what are the emotions around them. That's a big part of getting through them. So that's a little bit of an information topic about cravings. That's a little bit of a discussion about cravings. They're not easy. They're certainly not easy. Hormones play a role, emotions play a role, and there's no quick fix. There's no simple answer. Usually, again, it comes down to your mind and doing the work. Where is this coming from? Why am I craving this? What are the emotions around this? And distinguishing the difference between, am I actually physically hungry? Or is there something else going on here that I need this food? Is it routine? Is it my way of dealing with stress? Where is this coming from? So do that work first and see what you can discover about yourself, and you might be surprised. So that's it for today, for this Monday. Next Monday is Thanksgiving Monday, so we are closed. The gym is closed. I will not be here for nutrition news next Monday. So remember that. Congratulations again to Sharon Glauscher. You win 25 FBBC bucks. Hopefully I will see you this afternoon and I will give this to you then. Other than that, you guys, this is it for now. The lunchtime session here at the gym is about to begin. I am here for the rest of the day. Those of you that are coming in, I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.